Minn Kota Failures. I just spent 550 bucks on it. Again. Look at this. Repair order, repair order, repair order, repair order. This is kind of the way Johnson Motors went belly up. Yeah. Guess who owns this? Johnson Motors. Hey, I've been putting off making this video for a while. This spring, my iPilot, made by Minn Kota, a Failures. I've had it for about 10 years. I have to give it that. I've had it for about 10 years. But for the last 6 years, I've been having all kinds of trouble with it. First time it wouldn't steer. I took it into a place that's supposed to be certified by Minn Kota to repair it. They put in a board, and sure enough, it worked. And about 2 years later, it quit again. So I called Minn Kota. Actually, I got them online and ordered that same card again. Well, I got the card, but it wasn't the right card. It wouldn't even come close. It was completely different. So then I called them, and they said, "Well, that's too bad because there's no we don't take returns." Yeah, they don't take returns. It was like 150 bucks. I'm like, what? So I don't know what to do. So I took it back to the place that I had it worked on the first time. And sure enough, they said, "Oh, the card's bad." I said, "Well, that card came from Minn Kota." And so anyway, I contacted Minn Kota again and again and again and again and again and again. And at last, I got them to refund the money. I sent them, yeah, I sent them back the card because the card was taken out by the techs. But at that time, they gave you back your cards. So then about a year later, guess what? It wouldn't steer again. So I wasn't going to go through that deal trying to buy a card and put it in myself again. So I took it back to the certified or whatever mechanics. And at the time, the motor would run. I could run the motor. It would pull the boat, but I couldn't steer it. So I put a little shim underneath it so I could steer it. Okay, it kept the gears that were supposed to steer it free so that I could turn it around and around. And I used it like that for a while. And I took it back and had it repaired. And they charged me a little over $250. And I put it in my car, brought it back home, and 50 miles each way, by the way, and put it on my boat. It wouldn't do anything. It wouldn't. The motor wouldn't run. It didn't steer still. The motor wouldn't run, and my my handheld, what do you call it? The handheld device that runs it wouldn't communicate. So I took it back. I mean, they couldn't have tested it. There's just no way. And so they blamed it on of course, they started blaming it on the handheld device, blah, 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 and they kept putting batteries in it. Sooner or later, after about 4 days, they called me back and said, "Okay, we know what's wrong with it. The head needs to be replaced." And guess what? That's another 300 bucks. Well, actually, they wanted 350. They wanted me to pay them labor to put that on. I said, "I'm not paying you any more labor. You've cost me 2 trips of 50 miles each way, or actually 100 miles round trip each way." I said, "You need to fix it." "Well, you got to pay for the parts." "Well, okay," I say, "I'll pay for the parts." So that was like, altogether, both trips turned it out to be $550 some. All right, and I brought the motor back. First, I made them test it in front of me when I went to pick it up, and they got mad about that. Yeah, they got upset that I wanted them to test it after they screwed around with me. So then I used it. I thought, "Oh, this works great." 2 weeks later, right back to where it was months before. It won't steer. It won't do anything. Well, actually, the motor will run, so I put my clamp back on it so that I can steer it by hand. I mean, I got this $1,500 motor that I'm steering with a piece of frick something clamped onto it, and I'm steering it around, sitting in the front of the boat trying to steer it. Okay. So I got completely upset with it. But to back up a little bit, the first time I got upset with it, I said I'm not going to fix it. I wish that would have happened. Okay. And I went ahead and ordered me a Motor Guide X3, simplest motor I could find, and then it didn't say Minn Kota on it. I didn't want anything that says Minn Kota on it anymore. So it took them about a week to get it. No, here's the deal. A week later, the company I ordered it from through Amazon contacted us and said we don't have them. So my wife happened to pick that up, and she was doing me a favor because I was at the cabin and she was at her house where the internet is. So she ordered one through a company called Motor Guide Warehouse or something like that. Factory Outlet, Motor Guide Factory Outlet. And sure enough, about a week later, I get this FedEx brings a box. And it's all beat up. Well, I thought, well, maybe it's, it's an outdoor thing. Maybe maybe it works. So I opened it up and I made a little video of it. I'll show you the video. And come to find out that FedEx, or somebody had destroyed the thing. They'd bent the bottom of the motor. It looked like they just dropped it, probably threw it off a truck. So the motor wouldn't even turn over, the motor that pulls you, the reason to buy a trolling motor. So this is a long thing, I know, but it's so bizarre, it's funny. So now I don't have a motor at all, right? Now I'm back to when I decided, okay, I'm just going to fix mine. Okay, so I took it back, gave one more chance. $550 later, I get it back. I use it for 2 weeks, and it quits. So, and I'm still waiting for my refund from Motor Guide Outlet store. I called the Motor Guide Outlet. No, I called the Motor Guide Outlet store, and they told me that it would be covered under warranty. I'm like, okay, we'll cover it under warranty. Send me another one. I'll send you this one back. I'll send that one back. And so we said, well, that's a pretty big thing to be sending back. How much is it going to cost me? I figured they would pay for the shipping. They said, well, from your pictures and stuff, it looks like FedEx destroyed it. I said, well, I don't care who destroyed it. I just want to get a motor. Well, after about 5 phone calls, the last they gave us a RMA number, and they paid to have it shipped back. And it had to be in the box. There couldn't be any writing on the box. All this, they had all these hoops to jump through. But in the meantime, I had contacted Motor Guide, in other words, Mercury Motors. And they at last got that back to me, and I told them the whole story. And they said, you know what? They said, we really are not associated with them at all. We have nothing except that they sell some of our stuff. So we have no control over it. I said, in other words, they want me to send it to you and make you cover it for warranty when you had nothing to do with it? They said, well, that's pretty much the case. So right then I decided Motor Guide is getting ripped off by Motor Guide Factory Outlet, and I'm getting ripped off by Minn Kota. And you can't get anything. So anyway, after 2 weeks, my Minn Kota died again, and I just turned right around the next day. I just got online, Bass Pro, ordered an X3 Motor Guide, because I'm not going to lose any more fishing time. And for just a little less than $600, I got a brand new Motor Guide foot control bow mount electric motor. It took them a week to get it, I admit that. But it works, and it's not damaged, and it works great. So I'm done with Minn Kota. That's the reason I put a picture on there of me throwing the Minn Kota in the trash can. I am done with them. The only thing left on my boat is that's a Minn Kota. It came with my used boat when I bought it. It has one of those Minn Kota anchor mates on it. And I don't know how many times that thing I'd let it down, and then wouldn't stop, and it just roll line out and just wad it all up, and I'd have to drag the anchor in by hand and then get it back up there and unwind it. I did take it apart. At last, I got fed up with it. I was either going to get a work or something. So, but they got a little spring in there that tells it when the tension's gone on the rope. So I just took the spring and stretched it about 150% and stuck it back in. But that's another story. But anyway, it's still on my boat. But one of these days, it's going to tee me off, and it's going to end up in a lake or something. So, but now I have to take the place of my anchor lock that I don't have anymore, that only worked within about 20 feet of circle. I've got an anchor. I just throw it out. It's no big deal. So anyway, I'm just happy that that wasn't my last dollar that I had to spend on this junk. But if you're if you even think about buying something from Minn Kota, just figure in 2 or 3 years you're gonna have to throw the damn thing away, okay? Because they have no service whatsoever, neither at the factory or their factory certified repair shops. It's a piece of crap. So anyway, it's owned by Johnson, and you know what happened to Johnson Motors. And I used to love Johnson Motors. They made great motors years ago, but then they quit making them. I wonder why. So beware, Minn Kota sucks, and so does what was it called? Motor Guide Outlet Store online. Don't buy anything from them. It took me over a month to get my money back, and I don't know how many things hopes I had to jump through. Anyway, there you go. I have an electric motor on my boat, and up until this moment, I'm happy with it. And the worst that'll happen is I'll throw it away. The cost of one repair, I can buy a new one. There you go. Just trying to help. I'm just saying. Bye.